Hello,
Yeah.
everyone, and welcome to this session now. Our guest is Marufa Bhuiyan, and she wants to talk about Mars city-state design for 1 million population and integrated model-based approach toward Martian settlements.
So my name is Marufa Bhuiyan. I'm the founder and CEO of Everest Innovation Lab, registered in Honolulu, Hawaii. Today, my talk is about Mars city-state design for 1 million population and integrated model-based approach towards Martian settlement. Next slide. So time management is important. So I'll just divide my talk 20 minutes and 5 minutes Q&A. And within these 20 minutes, I will just speak few words from my abstract, and then how to build a team on Earth, and then methodology and settlement, like a various strategy for settlements, like location-wise or timeline or projects. How can we do settlements? And some examples. And I have an internal database. I would like to share that. It's not public yet. So this is the abstract. So basically, I'll just speak the first sentence, and other sentences I can break down in the later slides. So Mars used to be god of war since ancient Roman civilization, but in my native language, Mars means peace or blessings or welfare. So that means as we voyage from the east to west, we lose a lot of meaning and context. But we are talking more like here, imaginary time and real time. So a lot of things might come aligned. So let's see what next slide here. This is my team. Here we work together, and yeah, you can read their name, and if you have more interest, you can see their bio in our website. And this was just last week, I finished this simulation. I was a remote astronomer for Crew 228 Mars at the Mars Desert Research Station. And 4 people were in situ and 4 were remote crew. So that was quite a learning. And here in the mission patch, my name is written in Bengali, so you cannot read this. But this is kind of cool patch they designed. Anyway, so where is Mars? Well, you can see this is Sun, and this is Earth. Here we are right now. And the 3rd rock is Earth, and 4th is Mars. So we are trying to go there. And then if we look at here, this is Saturn and Jupiter, and this is Cassiopeia in our galaxy, and you can probably travel to other galaxies, Andromeda, but that's not a straight line, so it's like a little bit curvy, but it's more like astronomy topic. But here we're talking about settlements. So, but this month we cannot see Mars in our eye because it's traveling with the sun. So it's basically we don't see at night this year, but you could see last year. Well, history, we can learn a lot from our history. Sorry, this is kind of boring. So history of Earth and Mars. So this is Earth. I was born here in the Delta, and then my last name, I was reading this book, A Brief History of Bangladesh. So my last name goes back to 14th century. 12 Bhuiyan used to rule Bengal. And then now what happened? We somehow forgot how to explore all these things, or maybe we still remember. So anyway, so this is the history. Here you can see Earth, and we have a lot of history on Mars too. Why Mars? Some people say, oh, moon or Mars. My question is, why not? I mean, since our childhood, we grew up with this imagination and wonder. And if some people say, oh, we don't support exploration, we can make a list of people who do not support, probably. So methodology 1 would be, let's imagine one leader can manage 1,000 people. So we need 1,000 leaders for 1 million people, basically. And then we need team leaders, like engineer, artists, philosophers, web developer, all these positions. And second methodology would be, it's like linear programming. Well, if you look at the problem linearly, you can solve easily, but life is not really linear, or sometimes problems are not linear. So you have to look at district level. But the objective is minimize the total cost of each system between a present day and a future date. So this is another methodology, and the third methodology is basically space and time here. So recently I learned, not recently, a few years ago, I was reading Stephen Hawking's book, Black Holes and Baby Universe. Over there he says, imaginary time exists and it travels 45-degree angle. And it kind of changed my whole perspective. Because you see all these calendars here, these all are the present day, 2021, and then Bengali calendar, this, because we're still ruling the Bengal, and then we have all these other calendars. So we have all these things, but Elon Musk says, okay, wherever you are, you scale and scope your consciousness. But this is my theory, basically. I think both real time and imaginary time both exist at the same time. But also time passes at a different rate for different people. But it takes time to realize that, probably. So if we now revisit Mars as a peace planet, what do we do? Like, do you settle up there like a king and queen, like we did on Earth, or do we set up like a democratic society? So I was at the MDRS last year, and we did like Mars medic missions. We were doctor on Mars, and we had, it was very fascinating team, and we learned a lot how to help each other and learn from each other. So this type of analog missions can help us to prepare for that. But the last day of our simulation, we woke up with tremendous awakening. And me and my fellow astronaut colleague, we went to visit a store in Utah, and this book, How to Cope When You Are Surrounded by Idiots. Usually I don't read this type of book, but this kind of, it was good humor at that time. But also this book, How to Live on Mars, it was very helpful. So both probably exist at the same time. But then question lies, are we living in a simulated world? Welcome to Mars. So this was an article published in Wired magazine. I was inspired by that, and then through that I came here in 2021. But this team was basically traveling to Mars, and imagine some of the rockets, one of their thruster is not working. By the time the signal reach to Earth, they might become interplanetary civilization, or they become space dust. So this article was very interesting, and a lot of information were there. So I just thought to put it out there. So this timeline is published recently in a paper, scientific paper, in July 19th. And over there, they talk about how do settlement here see 2021 until 2052, and we have ISS, and this is the lunar missions, and these are Mars mission. If you have more interest, you can look at the paper and you can learn more. And then this future cafe, like imagine, so here, every time we get into a problem, we do like a quadrant analysis, let's say x-axis and y-axis. So you just do like, where do you see yourself? Sorry. So right now I could see myself in an ancestral house in a royal family, or I could be in a glass house. But it's like, just like it could be like a point difference, 0.1 difference from here to here. So each time we can understand where you want to go and where we are, that can help to decide in our daily activities. Second strategy would be by locations. Here I have created a database, like 5 different locations. Olympus Mons is the tallest mountain in the solar system. And so there we have 200,000 people there. And then Mariners Valley, these all are locations we can pick based on the explorations we did in the history. So what we have in the Olympus Mons, we have population, let's say 200,000. So we need living habitats for all these people, and we need spaceport, like greenhouse for food and all these, and observatory, I love observatory, and then we need universities and schools, they are important too. And then typical Martian city might look like this. But this is more scientific again here, how they can be interdependent on each other in terms of like resources, in-situ resources, and to utilize other resources. So this is, I can break it down more later if I have time. Let's see how much time we have. Okay. Habitat designs, basically we can follow MDRS designs or high seas in Hawaii, but we have to think about radiation, all these things. But the matter of like sound pollution we did on Earth, I mean, those things will be strictly monitored and controlled, like how much we pollute water and air and sound. And third strategy would be by projects. Like at the current time on Earth, what are the projects exist and how do we see going there in the next 10 years, 20 years, 30 years? So I think governance is important for me because my ancestors used to govern. But then other projects are also probably important. So I will speak the fourth more detail. So this is the first project, interplanetary communication. So I have a radio license, which is like 6G, WH6G and E. And with that, you can connect with, you know, like in a speed of light. But for radio connection would not that good, probably connect with laser. Probably Elon Musk planning to build some sort of like Starlink satellite we have on Earth or Cosmos. So this type of satellite system might exist on Mars. And the second, this is just an additional side probably. Oh, timekeeping. This is very interesting to me because I want to create a calendar for Mars. And then I'm still thinking, will there be a time difference on Mars like we have on Earth? There should be time difference, but how much and how, where is what? And then we find out for 1 million people, we need 3,333 equivalent greenhouses. So things to do, this is probably last slide. Okay, this is the last slide. Things to do, basically, we have to understand like classified information versus declassified information, government, non-government, all these things. But also for me, probably I will just focus on my internal database and develop partnership projects and teamwork and review analysis. These are just things to do. So in conclusion, I would say, this is conclusion and later I will show my internal database. So in conclusion, I would say GRAIN is an acronym. GRAIN stands for Genetics, Robotics, AI, and Nanotechnology. Will be strictly monitored and controlled on Mars or even on Earth, as we see now. And then brain-to-brain interface would be interesting. And we can tweak some human DNA if it's necessary for our existence. And then politics and religion, you know, like all these things are, we might bring our charm and garbage. What we learn from our family and our surroundings, it follows us. So we have to carefully monitor that, how much we bring with us. And then planetary defense is important, both for Earth and Mars, and memories from Earth, like a scarf or like a Swatch watch or something. And then intellectual humility, I think all of you know what is that. And inspiring the next generation of scientists and explorers would be necessary. So this is my last slide. I just created this quote today. Like, we are explorers by nature. That's what we do. But anyway, I will now show, I have 15 minutes. 15 minutes or 10 minutes, sorry. So now I will finish this slideshow and then show my database, what I created here. So let's say, okay. So this is internal database and still not public, but let's say we are now on Mars, right? This is Mars. We can, from here, you can go to Earth, Moon, or Mars. I'm now in Mars. And for Mars, we have this mega tool for governance. So basically we can choose all type of people who deserves what role, who wants to do what. And then we have all these positions assigned. But and then this is the mega tool, and then now let's travel to Olympus City. So here Olympus City is here, and then for each city we will have these are the data sheet here. For each city we need all this. We come up with like a rough calculation, and then from Olympus Town let's go to Inca City. Something looks like similar, but we're still working on the design. And then for Inca City, we have similar type of situation. And then this is Hellas Basin. Okay, That's another location. I love this map. And then from there, Vallis Marinaris is here. This is pretty cool. And then state of Jezero would be, this is Vallis Marinaris, and yeah. This looks like kind of like delta. Yeah, this is a delta. And then, oh, that's for moon, but then again. So I can play with this more and just learn. But this is kind of a settlement you're doing. Okay, Jezero crater. Okay, that's where they landed the rover recently. Okay, 3 minutes left. So I think that is all for my presentation. And then if I rushed somewhere, okay, I have 3 minutes left. So I will try to explain this slide. This is important. How one city people can. So LC stands for loop control. ISRU stands for in-situ resources. So this is published, it's like a combined paper, Stanford, UC Berkeley, and all this, the faculty, they publish this paper for the future. So we have all these surface materials here. So we do a lot of surface operations, ice, atmosphere, regolith, and sunlight. And then you create all kind of what you need. I think food would be important, and then how much you can import from Earth and all these. We will I think I'm done. 2 minutes left, but I finished my presentation. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. If you like, you can stop sharing screen, and I have here many questions in the chat. I would start. Okay. Yeah, thank you for this interesting lecture.
You're welcome.
So just a second, I have to see. I have the older one. How does the Dunbar limit play into the 1 to 1,000 ratio?
Pardon, what is the question?
How does the Dunbar limit play into the 1 to 1,000 ratio?
So this is, oh, the ratio, okay.
Yeah, ratio. No, this is just, okay, sorry.
No problem. No, this is just like a rough, like, let's say if I am the CEO of my company and I have, let's say, 20 people work with me and 20 people have 20 projects, there might be other 20 people. So you multiply that, and each person, we all through our life, I'm somehow connected with 1,000 people probably. So for this slide, I was just thinking here, let's say if this is one team leader can manage 1,000 people. So we're just literally covering like 1 million people here.
Oh, yeah. The next question is, which latitudes may be better for permanent human settlement? Closer to the equator with more solar energy, or closer to poles with easier access to water and subsurface glaciers?
Yeah, where the ice closer to the equator, that's where we build the Inca city. I was planning, I mean, in my map. So closer to the where we have ice would be first, wherever we have the resources basically would be first, as per my opinion, wherever we have the resources.
And how did you pick these sites?
Pardon, can you repeat? Sorry.
How did you pick these sites?
Oh, I was just curious, like what we have where. And this Google Earth Pro map is so detailed. It has all the history of landing, all the rover and everything. So based on the resources, probably, like also based on the exploration we did, also kind of comparing with Earth, with Everest, say Mount Olympus is Everest on Earth, and how do we see settlements on Earth since 14th century, where we are now, and I'm sitting here in the tiny Hawaiian island, but these human settlements started from somewhere. So just basically comparing with Earth and Mars history and exploration. Yeah.
And the next question is, if we activate Olympus Mons for changing atmosphere, will it be right to set up a city close to it?
If we activate Olympus Mount for changing atmosphere, will it be right to set up a city? Yeah, sure. I would like to go there and visit. I think I did a virtual tracking of Olympus Mons, like virtually, you literally can track the whole mountain. I think it's very good location. But
okay.
Yeah.
And you suggested DNA modification for human brain-to-brain interface. But since prehistory, certain humans have been born with telepathy. It's limited, but has created problems in a society that ridiculous those who exhibit this ability. But as you know, those who master this ability, it can. So that was not a question. Sorry.
No problem. I'm happy that that was not a question. But good comment. This is a very interesting comment.
Okay, there are no questions. There are more comments. You can see the comments now.
Yeah. Are there any other good analogs other than Hawaii? And yeah, I'm planning to create one analog on the Everest, but I have to talk with the secretary and minister, prime minister there, because I think Nepal or Mount Everest would be good location. Comparing, the geography we have there and people, and like isolation wise, Mount Everest would be a good place. Not really on the top of Everest, but like just the bottom or somewhere. This is my plan. I'm looking for a team member and yeah, like ideas. So here's the chief of 100, a chief of 1,000.
And will you go to Mars?
Did I see a glimpse of Mauna Loa? Oh, Mauna Loa, you can't see Mauna Loa. That's Maui Island, and over there is Lanai. You can't see Mauna Loa from here. That's a good question. Can you see? That's that direction probably, Mauna Loa, but you can't see from here where I am.
Yeah. Will you go to Mars?
Is that a question?
Yes. Will you go to Mars?
Yes.
And yes, would you live there if you would you go also if you couldn't come back?
Yeah, I'll come back because I have so many friends and relatives and family here. But I would like to go there and have it people there, I think within our lifetime probably we can go, or our children's lifetime. But definitely I would love to go, at least like just a helicopter ride maybe.
And another question is, what about the regolith and its impact to humans? How will we grow food in the Martian regolith?
What about the regolith and its impact on humans? How will we grow food on the Martian regolith? This is a good question. We're currently writing like a decadal survey for NASA and like ASGSR. Like I just wrote a paragraph, but I'm still working on it. That was about Moon, but about Mars, I have to still do research to answer this question. I'm sorry, but the regolith, yeah.
Are there more questions from the audience?
If we activate Olympus Mount, would that not be dangerous for a city close by?
This question we had already.
Was this question for me? I mean, for my panel?
Yes, but we had this already. You answered this already.
Yeah, yes. Activate. Okay, it's like a volcano. I don't know how the level, how serious this volcano level, but here in Hawaii, this volcano just started erupting. Kilauea volcano, because Hawaiian Islands are all used to be volcano, right? But people live here for the last for a long time. They used to have kingdom, but now it's ruled by government. But But this is a good question. I never thought about mount activate. Okay.
Okay, so I thank you very much, Marufa. It was
Yeah,
really nice,
thank you.
and I think you could have talked more. Thank you very much, and thank you to
Yeah.
the audience. I wish you all a nice evening. Here's the last question. Do you know what a technocrat is?
Let me Google this word. Just a second. What is technocrat? Someone who is dependent on technology, or who's a master, masters technology.
No, technocrat is more someone who is thinking in quadratic way, in a quarter way.
Technocrat means an exponent or advocate of technocracy. A member of a technically skilled elite. Okay, that sounds cool. So I think we all are technocrat in some way or other, because you have a member of, okay. So this is a question. Elon Musk. Do you know what a technocrat is? Now I know. And then,
Okay. Okay, thank you so much.